the president of the United States is going to give his State of the Union address and the Democrats got other plans. At some point in time, ladies and gentlemen, there's got to be an adult in the room. If people on the right can turn and look at you and say, you're no better, you act no better, where's it going to get you?
So in their latest temper tantrum, it looks like multiple Democrat lawmakers will now be boycotting Trump's State of the Union address, which of course means wonderful people like Senator Adam Schiff will not be in attendance, to which I say, oh no, Adam Schiff is not coming. What are we going to do now, right? I was just so much looking forward to turning on the speech and enjoying it, but when I found out Adam Schiff wasn't going to be there, that rocked my whole world. Seriously? What is this supposed to prove? Oh, we're not showing up. Yeah, we really made a statement. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say this right now to Democrats. I hope you guys all boycott the State of the Union. How about nobody show up? How about this year we won't have to watch stupid antics of Al Green standing up and having this geriatric meltdown with his cane. We won't have to watch a bunch of Democrats holding up these signs like they're crossing guards at an elementary school or something. And frankly, we'll make the speech a lot more efficient. As a matter of fact, we should just sell out the empty Democrat seats to random people who want to come. It'll just be a great time. But no, instead, Democrats have to show up and, cause all these problems every single time. And they think somehow now, oh, we're not going to come. What are you going to do now, Trump? I don't know, give the speech anyway? Actually give the speech in a lot more comfort without you morons screaming and causing all these problems all the time. So, I want to talk about this here today. I also want to discuss some of the internal drama now brewing within Democrat leadership, because apparently Hakeem Jeffries is trying to, for lack of a better term, tard wrangle his members this year by saying, hey, let's not do the signs, let's not make noise, no more nonsense, because it makes us look bad. Please just behave during the State of the Union and sit there quietly. And apparently multiple members of his caucus are refusing to do that. They're still planning their own different protests. And so it's this whole mess. Democrats overall always know how to lose on the optics games whenever Trump is giving a State of the Union. And let's get into all of it, guys. First, though, do us a favor. If you enjoy our content, make sure you hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We greatly appreciate the support, but it also ensures that you can stay up to date with all of the latest news and coverage. And that said, let us first start by bringing you this news where apparently Hakeem Jeffries and Democrat leadership are very terrified that the party of crazy freaks and just ridiculous people might show the country during this speech and remind everyone we are a bunch of crazy freaks and ridiculous people. As you can see, Democrats are weighing a silent protest or boycott as Trump's State of the Union nears. So Democrats are, of course, expected to object to protest Donald Trump during the State of the Union address, but House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is calling on members of his caucus to protest Trump during the address, but do it in a discreet manner, according to the Hill newspaper. So yeah, again, basically what he's calling for is he doesn't want to see a whole Al Green situation like last year.
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Oh, really? So you mean to tell me that having some geriatric fossil stand up and scream in the middle of the speech and wave his cane around like a crazy old man, that's probably a political prop too, by the way, was not actually a good look for the political party? Well, then Democrats explain the whole No Kings protest movement, because that is basically what it is, right? It's Al Green. Al Green would actually perfectly embody the No Kings protest in, that little moment. But anyways, it goes on here to say that the goal is to have people object, but not to have a massive outburst. Well, that's going to be pretty hard to ask of Democrats, considering that's all they're capable of, right? Massive outbursts. So the two options in front of us in our House are to either attend with silent defiance or not attend and send a message to Donald Trump in that fashion. Oh yeah, he's going to take that so well. He's going to be like, oh no, the Democrats didn't come, guys. How can we appease them? He doesn't care if you come or not. You understand? Nobody cares if you're coming or not, which will include participation in a variety of different alternate programming that is going to take place in and around the Capitol complex, Jeffries said to reporters. Allegedly now, Jeffries also doesn't want them to be holding those stupid signs this year, to which I say, yeah, you mean to tell me that this right here, Musk steals, save Medicaid. We look like a bunch of crossing guards or, the guys at the airport who are like waving in the plane or something. Yeah, it wasn't a good look. Again, color me so surprised.
No, I do plan to attend, and I hope that this year they don't put up those silly paddles and all those kinds of weird protests. That's like, you don't have to agree with whatever you're going to hear, but like last year, I mean, it just made us look like children, and just exactly. Yeah, thank you. I can see you're referencing that. It's just like, show up or not, but just do that kinds of thing, and like, have some dignity, and just, we can agree or disagree and not call people names or behave in such ways like that.
But anyways, it does seem that multiple members of the Democrat Party actually can't control themselves. They're refusing to abide by those guidelines. What? I can't stand up and scream in the middle of the speech. I have to sit down and be quiet. No way, that's fascism, which is exactly why at least 12 Democrat lawmakers, according to NBC, are planning to boycott the State of the Union address. These members plan to attend a rally organized by progressive advocacy groups, including MeidasTouch, on the National Mall instead. And apparently they're calling their little alternate event and alternate speech the People's State of the Union. Yeah. And so they're actually going to try to do this, to which I say, are you guys freaking serious? And what makes them think that's going to work, right? Who's actually going to be watching this People's State of the Union featuring Adam Schiff and a bunch of no-name Democrat congressmen?
Donald Trump is violating the law and Constitution. He is ignoring court orders. He has weaponized the Justice Department to go after his enemies. He is letting loose ICE troops in our streets that are getting people killed. I will not be attending the State of the Union. I've never missed one. I have always gone both to inaugurations and to States of the Union, but we cannot treat this as normal. This is not business as usual. I will not give him the audience he craves for the lies that he tells. I'll be outside the Capitol with MeidasTouch and move on for the People's State of the Union, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday.
Like, again, oh no, Adam Schiff is not coming. Whatever will we do? But secondly, do they seriously think people are actually going to watch this People's State of the Union address? Take a look at the attendance, by the way. According to organizers, it will include Senator Ed Markey of Massachusetts, Chris Murphy of Connecticut, Tina Smith of Minnesota, and Chris Van Hollen of Maryland from the Senators. Congressmen and Congresswomen will include people like Pramila Jayapal and Bonnie Watson Coleman. So, in other words, we have the B, arguably C or D team here of the Democrat Party. It's not even like it's being led by party stars like Gavin Newsom or AOC. No, these are all of the just sleepy, loser, and completely off-putting random representatives that Democrats have. So, yeah, there's not going to be a serious audience for this. And frankly, I find that regrettable because I very much would like the American people to tune in and actually watch this People's State of the Union address before, for the specific reason of like, hey, please remind yourself. I understand there's all this anti-Trump propaganda right now, ICE, this and that, but please remember why you rejected the Democrats in 2024, right? Remember how stupid and out of touch and ridiculous these people are as you listen to Senator Margarita of Maryland. Let's go have Margarita with criminal illegal aliens and all this stuff. Pramila Jayapal. Yeah, she's a real hard hitter. Yeah, definitely resonates with everyday Americans. I mean, what a complete joke, right? And even members of the Democrat Party and its circles around are noting the same thing. We have even former Democrat strategists coming out and pointing out, yeah, this whole boycott thing is a really stupid idea and it's just going to make us look like fools. To which I say, gee, I could have told you that.
Yeah, I think it's terrible. I mean, my plea to the party is don't do this, because I think it's twofold. I think, one, you're going to end basically the State of the Union as we know it, which, okay, maybe the American people don't care. But what will happen going forward is the opposition will just simply say, I'm not going to attend, right? Because they didn't do it to Trump. And this year it's maybe 30 or 40. And the next year it'll be 100. AOC announced she's not going to go now. You also have some Democrats who are not adhering to Jeffries, thing that if you come sit on your hands, if you don't have anything nice to say, they're like, no, we're going to cause a little bit of trouble. And I think if the image, look, we have momentum right now. We have had a good start to 2026 politically. This is one of those events where most of the country tunes in, okay? If the images are of us kind of having this like out of control rah-rah down the street, petulant members on the floor interrupting and banging or whistles or whatever, and then a leader who looks like an impotent, know-nothing sitting on his hands, I think the average voter, just as they're not paying attention to Iran, says, Jesus, you guys are a bunch of immature idiots. Yeah. And then it goes to who's more extreme, Trump and his policies or us and our knuckleheads. And so if I were the party, show up, sit there, stand up, when he walks in, stand up if they have a little kid with cancer. And otherwise, if you don't like his policies, just sit there.
So some are talking about walking out in the middle of his speech. Others are talking about boycotting it altogether and essentially finding something else to do. I'm here to tell you that neither is acceptable. Neither should be acceptable. At some point in time, ladies and gentlemen, there's got to be an adult in the room. If you're going to act as juvenile, as petulant, as petty, as you accuse the president of the United States to be, how are you ever going to hold a high moral ground, at least high enough to judge him accordingly? If people on the right can turn and look at you and say, you're no better, you act no better, where's it going to get you? See, these are the kind of things that end up getting people like myself and others in the news because we're talking about getting things done.
Yeah, well, it seems like pretty basic common sense and normal political strategy, does it not? Hey, we don't want America to think we're these just annoying, grandstanding, petulant children, but Democrats don't have normal basic political strategy. And let me actually explain the reason why. Even if Democrat leadership wants to say, hey, let's not make fools out of ourselves is not a good look, you need to understand as well that at the core of all these Democrat politicians, and I would argue liberals in general, it's the same thing you see at these performative protest marches where they want to put on the best outfit and they're like screaming like they're characters in a movie or something, is that these are all deeply narcissistic and self-centered people. And as that pertains to, say, Democrat politicians, basically all of them are looking for clout, for fame, for their moment. They want to prove, oh, I'm the hero of the resistance. And so, when you're constantly seeking approval from those no kings lunatics out in the voter base, you're not necessarily going to care, oh, what image does this portray for our whole party nationally? Is this going to affect our electoral chances outside of my deep blue district? I don't care what Hakeem Jeffries says. I want my moment. I want to scream so that way MSNBC and CNN will interview me and all the liberals on Facebook will say, oh, I'm such a hero. I look so fantastic. And so, I don't know what's going to happen, but don't be surprised if you see different members rebel against Jeffries. And clearly, as you can tell, they're trying to do this whole alternative State of the Union event, which I would assume is only going to be heavily viewed by the actual No Kings lunatic protester crowd that, is going to be watching that anyway. And, people in the middle, normal Americans, no one wants to tune in to watch Senator Ed Markey, Chris Van Hollen, or Adam Schiff. But again, that's who these politicians are appealing to, right? They primarily come from deep blue areas. They don't care about the party. They care about, gaining their own approval and building their own brand and maybe launching future presidential campaigns. And so if that's the only agenda, if the only agenda is personal narcissistic clout chasing and not, actually trying to be unified as a party, which is, I think, very accurate of the Democrat Party and all their clownish politicians, then expect a circus tomorrow to say the least. But we'll see what happens. We may even be streaming the State of the Union ourselves, assuming my internet can hold up here at this undisclosed location. But all right, that said, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and until next time, God bless and peace.